As you can see, the rare, elusive polyp pros in their natural habitat. Hello everyone and welcome back to James's channel. Today is day 5. Obviously you probably realised that if you know anything about maths that you're missing day 3 and 4. I wasn't here for day 3 and 4 because I was at work. There is a huge difference between this time and last time you were here, as you can see. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to get James to have a quick walk around and we'll show you everything that's been done.
Okay, so what we've done since last time. So we've put 4 of the tanks in now. So the stands have all been built. So now what I've been doing is basically all the down pipes that go from all 3 of these tanks have been plumbed in. This intricate system is to allow the tanks to be quiet. So the idea is that these valves, you can adjust them so the water flow, very much like a Red Sea tank, it goes in between the 2 levels of pipe and keeps it nice and quiet. I've also installed this lovely valve here. This valve, what it does is it drains the entire tank through this bottom drain. So if I ever want to clean, or Ryan ever wants to clean this entire system of all the detritus, you just basically turn that valve, that entire tank drains, and that's partially why the sumps are so big as well. Is so all that water can be held in that tank, and then basically that goes through, all that water then goes through the socks and then back into the system again.
Okay, and what have you done up here? This is new.
So the inlets for the coral trays are actually underneath the acrylic trays that we're going to design.
Oh yeah, under the frag racks.
Exactly. So those will be underneath, so you don't see them, but also it creates flow, so there's no detritus build up at the bottom of the tanks.
Because they're going to have holes drilled in them, aren't they?
There will be, yeah. Because obviously they're at the bottom, there could be an issue of back siphoning, but we have resolved that with 2 solutions. So basically there's a anti-siphon break right at the top in the acrylic, which I still need to plumb in, so that's sort of the next phase. Yeah. And then there will be a check valve. So there's 2 ways of stopping the water going back into the sump from these tanks.
And then obviously today, what are you doing today? Today you're getting another one of these stands, but yep, built here. But that's obviously Luke that's doing that. Right, should we go see how Luke's getting on? How are you getting on? Better. How have you found this project? Honestly.
Bit frustrating.
Frustrating. Yeah. Not easy.
Not easy.
What's been the difficult bit? Us.
The pipes.
The pipes.
Too many pipes my way.
Too many pipes. I think many of the people watching will probably agree with you that there's too many pipes. So, but anyway, I'll leave you alone.
Cheers.
He's a bit camera shy, so.
As you can see, the rare, elusive polyp pros in their natural habitat. You can tell that they've been here by all the random pieces of pipework that they leave all over the place. Shy creatures, care should be taken not to spook them, because they'll head back home to play with their 3D printers.
So while everyone's outside working, what am I doing, I hear you say? Well, I am making this week's video, which by the time you see this video will actually have been last week's video, which was obviously on the Red Sea tank. I assume that you've all, watched it, liked it, commented, subscribed to the channel, do everything that good viewers should do. There's a couple of other things to show you which have turned up this week. So this is the first one. So this is the Apogee MQ510, which is an underwater par meter. Now, what it does is it measures the amount of light that a coral is getting. With the Mega Build, I want things to be as precise as possible. Many of the corals which I buy will be coming from other people's tanks. So what I can do, I can place this sensor right next to where the coral which I'm buying is currently placed. And then I can put that sensor also in the coral tray, and I can try and match exactly where, exactly the same level of par that the coral will be receiving in their tank and my tank, to reduce the stress on the coral. So it's a pretty neat tool. The other thing that I've been able to do is I've been able to put it in my 1,000 litre tank and also my the Red Sea tank, and I can tell that there's certain corals which do better in one tank than the other, and I've noticed that they are actually at very different par levels. I'm planning to move some of the corals into better par positions for them to see if they colour up better. There's one other thing in the house to show you, and that's because I had the electrician here the other day, and he's made life a little bit easier in this cupboard. What he's done, there's my usual electrical meter, and then he has put a second meter in specifically for the Mega Build, so that I will be able to tell exactly how much power that room is using. So it allows me to divide up my electricity bill basically. And there's one other thing which he's done in the room itself, so let me take you in there.
Let's go see what they're up to. It's now much later in the day. and the Polyp Pros still seem to be working as hard as when they first arrived. Scientists believe this comes from the vast amounts of solvent world they inhale every day.
As you can see, a lot's changed since we were last in here. There's now a second set of racks in. James, is everything going well?
Yeah.
Everything's going well, that's good to hear. And obviously you don't get to speak to Dave very often, so let's put him on the spot this time.
I know, right?
You look tired, what are you up to?
I am sawing some woodwork to remove a little piece of wood that is unfortunately blocking one of the holes, annoyingly. So we're almost there.
Oh, what, for the...
Yeah.
That's not good. Well, at least it's done then.
It is. It is done. So
I like how I got the easy bit captured on camera at the end. Yeah, it's done. So the aim is to get all the pipework done today, I believe, and then that's except for obviously this section here. Now, with regards to this section, I changed. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen that I changed the designs slightly. Originally, there was meant to be one, so a little bit. Originally, there was meant to be one tank here, which is meant to be similar to this tank, whereas now there is going to be two coral trays with a similar design to this, where it's a tiered system. The problem with that is that it has caused James an absolute nightmare with regards to the logistics, because it wasn't part of the original design. So the pipework now has to be altered to include it.
It does, but it should be okay. I mean, because of we were going to have a tank down there anyway. The down pipes and the up pipes are pretty much there anyway. So.
Okay. So it should be all right.
Yeah, just needs
See?
more pipework.
So what you're saying is nothing is too difficult for you. Nothing's too difficult.
Everything. Alter design halfway through, it's fine.
Okay. Well,
overcome and adapt. That's what we as our motto.
overcome and adapt. Sounds like a good motto. This was the thing I wanted to show you actually. So remember I said the electrician was here. The RO unit's going up there. Now, because of the low water pressure I have in this room, I needed to have a pump fitted. Now, I'm not going to be able to get to that switch easily to turn the pump on and off, so what I've done is I have a switch here now to do that for me. The pump is also going to be on a high pressure switch, so it will shut off when the barrel's full, but I don't know if it will switch back on with that high pressure switch. In theory it should, but I have no idea. So yeah, and what I'll do, I will give you a full rundown at the very end of the day with regards to everything that's been done, and I'll leave these two guys alone. So. Yeah. Right, it's now the next day, but I promised you I'd give you a walk around. The Polyp Pros have obviously gone home. They only work at the weekends, which is why obviously the build's progressing like reasonably slowly, or it appears reasonably slowly, because obviously people are doing it in their free time. So a lot of people are asking me when it's going to be finished. It's anyone's guess. It could be next week there's waters in it, or it could be like 3 months that water's in it, but we will find out. So anyway, let me show you around. I only saw this morning after they'd left, so they like to leave their mark. Even though I didn't even notice the little fish until just now. But let me take you inside. Alright, the first thing to say is that this system is much larger than it looks on camera. The camera just doesn't do it justice. Every person, it's quite imposing when you walk in. It's only a small area down there. So let me show you around. So the first place we should probably start is where we left off on the last video, which is the tap, which is now secure. I'm not going to break it anymore. Unfortunately, the RO unit didn't get time to go up today, but that can obviously be next week. The step here is starting to be built. So there's going to be 2 steps. So obviously this tank's quite high up. So I needed, I didn't want to have one giant step, so I've got 2 steps. So the step's going to be in line where the pipes go in. So you can see the rough height so that it will make it easy to get to this tank, And then this tank can obviously be viewed from here, which means it's easy to view both tanks from both levels. Taking you a little bit further in, you can see that they have completed a lot more of the pipework on the second system, so which is obviously the same as the first system, but it's slightly, they adapted at the end because of what I've changed. There is an unbelievable over 150 meters of pipework in this room. That's all connected by 4 litres of solvent weld. That's I think that's some of the empty ones there. And every so often I get this feeling where I just think to myself, what am I doing? But I'm sure it'll be worth it in the long run. You can see just how complex the pipework is from this angle. But as I said to you at the very beginning, it all does something. And this little adaptation was what I mentioned earlier with regards to having the 2 extra tanks here, which I think that future Ryan will be happy he made that decision. This barrel here is going to be for the RO water, and then this one here I've got some very special plans for, and it's regarding the Red Sea tank. A little while ago I did a post on Facebook where I mentioned that I had an idea with the Profilux. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be my 50 litre water change for the Red Sea tank. And the plan is to have 1/4-inch hose run up the wall into the ceiling, and then have it taken over to the house, up the wall of the house, over the roof of the house, and then down back and drilled through the wall behind the Red Sea tank. And then to have 7 litres of water removed every day. So it removes 7 litres of water and then puts 7 litres back in, so it's like an automated water change system. Obviously I want to get this room finished first, but that's my next plan. That's my next project. And then over here, there is going to be a sink. Obviously the RO unit's not going to be here because you know that's going to be the other side of the room. There's going to be a sink here, and there's going to be a quarantine system here. And next to the sink, but obviously below it, I'm going to have all my dosing containers. And the plan is, I worked out that with regards to my other tank, I use 5 litres of alkalinity solution every week. In theory, that means that if I have a 100 litre alkalinity solution barrel, I'll only have to top it up every 100 days or so. And that will hopefully feed all the systems as well as the Red Sea tank. But yeah, there's still obviously a lot of pipework left. But considering how much there was to begin with, you can see obviously where it's all gone. And then the other thing to show you, do you remember I mentioned that the Polyp Pros do 3D printing? Well, they have made these for me. They are random flow generators, and they're going to be on each of the tanks. And that's just one of the things they make. They also make the shroom boxes, which I know for a fact work because I use them on my other system. But as you can see, it's coming along. It's coming. It's getting there. As I said, the people who are working on it can only work at the weekends because they all have other jobs to do. So it just means that although it appears that the build's taking a long time, they've only actually worked on it obviously 5 days now. So yeah, I think that is everything to show you. The next stage is I need to start getting the pumps. It's going to be 2 on this side, and there's going to be 3 Vectra L2s, which will be connected to the Mobius app, because that will hopefully, the plan is to utilize Mobius for basically everything, and then it keeps everything in one simple place and easy to control. But yeah, that's I think that is as much as there is to show you today. And then hopefully next week the plan is to have this step finished. There's going to be a very similar step here, which will hopefully be finished, and then hopefully Luke will end up putting the platform in for the sink and the other 2 tanks, even though I haven't got they haven't been made yet. I need to get those ordered before I can set obviously that system up. That's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching my video. Please feel free to comment below if you have any questions. If you did enjoy it, why not click that like and subscribe button? It makes a massive difference. YouTube works on momentum. And when I said to people, let's try and get me to 40,000 subscribers, the momentum that push gave it is still pushing it to this day. So let's keep that momentum going and see if we can get to 50. It'll take a while, but it all comes down to you guys. And one final mention, I just want to say obviously a massive thank you to all the people who support me on Patreon, because without you guys, projects like this, I wouldn't be doing. So have a good week, and I'll see you next time.